Hi, gorgeous. Welcome to episode number 81 with the outstanding entrepreneur, Tony Grebmeier.
Hi, this is Tony Grebmeier, and you are listening to the Heart Sells podcast with Christine Schlonski. Excited you're here for one reason and one reason only. The heart sells, and that's how you make a living.
I can't wait to dive into this episode today, gorgeous, and I'm so happy you are here tuning in. Our amazing, super successful guest is Tony Grebmeier. And what makes him exceptional is that he is not just somebody who built an 8-figure business, but he is looking for fulfillment. He's all about fulfillment. And while most well known for building a multi-million-dollar business with his childhood friends, it is Tony's mission in life to create a community where entrepreneurs know they can achieve anything despite their past. Tony Grebmeier has always known how to make money. He started his first business selling baseball cards at the age of 14. By the time he was 18, he had held 16 jobs and was only fired once for giving his brother an ice cream cone, which actually would be another story for another day. But because you are listening to Heart Sells podcast, we are tuning into this story. In 1996, Tony launched his first online business in Silicon Valley, web traffic and marketing company, which eventually turned into his first supplement company. In 2001, he went on to build a second supplement company, Ship Offers, and 16 years later, Ship Offers is an 8-figure business that has been in the Inc. 5000 company for the past 4 years in a row. So I'm super, super excited to have Tony on Heart Sells podcast. He was just a guest teacher at the Sales Mentality Makeover Masterclass number 3, delivering amazing value. And I'm so excited to have the opportunity to dive in deep with the next 2 episodes on Heart Sells podcast. If you want all the updates, make sure you are hopping over to christineschlonski.com and just sign yourself into the empowerment notes. This is my weekly empowerment for you directly to your inbox, also giving you all the news and updates on Heart Sells podcast. So I'm so excited you are here. Let's dive right in. Hi, Tony. I am so happy to have you on Heart Sells podcast today. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity.
Yes, I so enjoy talking to you. So I can't wait to dive in and to get more out of your wonderful knowledge to share with the audience. And one of my favorite questions is, what was the very first thing you've ever sold? But it's kind of already in your bio, it was baseball cards, or was there anything before?
I'm trying to think. I think if anything I sold was services, like I used to clean my neighbor's gutters, pull weeds. I would do odd jobs around the neighborhood to make some extra money. I mean, those were the things that I remember at an early age saying, you know what? I've been trading time for, video games, playing with my friends, and I've been having a lot of fun, but there's something that you need, which is money to kind of move through life. And so I kind of, at an early age, realized for me to get money, my parents were, always working, and I was limited in resources. So I just put myself to work. And I remember at a very early age, I had a lot of jobs. I tried a lot of different things. I got fired from one job. And it was my fault. I gave my brother an ice cream cone, and I got caught on camera. And I remember the disappointment I had going home and telling my mom that I lost my job. That's the only job I've ever been fired from. And, my mom said, what did you learn? And I said, I learned that I need to make better decisions around when I call the company to tell them, hey, I just lost money. Somebody stole some ice cream cones from me. Could you turn on the video cameras? And the next transaction was my brother walking up saying, hey, you don't have to give me anything. I'm like, no, just take it. And that got caught on video. And I got a phone call a couple of minutes later saying, please come and see me. And I just remember letting people down.
Mm.
I remember the disappointment. It wasn't so much about giving a 5-cent ice cream cone to my brother as it was I was doing something that I shouldn't have been doing. And then being disappointed that I had to tell my mom, and then I let her down. And I've always kind of used that in business and in life, that you should put your heart and lead with that, not your wallet. Because if you lead with your heart, two things fill up: your heart and your wallet. If you lead with your wallet, it's empty and meaningless, and it may be filled with money, but you won't really care. And so I really value a dollar. I value hard work. I value deep connected relationships. And that's all built on integrity and a foundation of trust. And from there, you can build anything you want. That's why we're connected. We're connected, a foundation of trust. Networking and integrity brings great people together. And I try every single day, no matter how I show up in the world, to leave it moved and inspired, so people feel, no matter where they're at, no matter what job they're in, no matter where they live in the world, that they always know that there's people rooting for them to get better.
Yeah. And I love that. And you do so much work around that topic as well. You even created a journal called the Be Fulfilled Journal, where people could check that out at BeFulfilledJournal.com. And yeah, there's even a special offer for the Heart Sells listeners, and I'm super excited about that. What does it mean for you to be fulfilled?
Great question. So I run a fulfillment company full time, and I have for the past 18 years. And what I found is, in a professional way, I've been helping to fulfill people's dreams and help them to kind of live out the ideas of thought around launching a product or a service and then delivering it and making happy customers. But, a little over 10 years ago, I was in a total different place in my life. I was separated from my wife. My business was all right. My relationships were okay. I was a full-blown addict and alcoholic. And I was suicidal. And I just didn't really want to live anymore. And somebody called me in the act of me trying to commit suicide, and then came and visited my house or apartment. And he said two words to me that profoundly changed who I am as a human being. He said, "Tony, what you're doing right now doesn't have any meaning and doesn't have any purpose. So you're really kind of like doing what you're doing, right? And no shit, excuse my language, I'm about to kill myself. I'm thinking about that. I'm not thinking about anything else." And he proceeded to share hope with me. And that's what I want to leave the world, is empowered and know that you can get anything out of it that you want. You just have to do some things, and they may be uncomfortable. And that's good, because I think our society, we're too comfortable. And so when I heard meaning and purpose, I didn't really know what that was, but the deep work that I've been able to do over the past 10 years led me to write and produce a journal. But it helped me to figure out my purpose. And I did that by looking at my mess. And that's available to anybody today, no matter where you're at, no matter what situation you're in. If you're not getting the results you want, I invite you to grab a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be the Be Fulfilled Journal. Grab a piece of paper and let's start celebrating some of the wins that you've been experiencing in your life for like the last 90 days, 120 days. And if you're like, well, I don't have any, I'm like, just start writing all the positive things that have happened in your life. And something shifts. Like, you just feel better about yourself. It's not in an ego way. You just look and you're like, you know what? Through all of the problems and things that I think in my head, man, I'm really proud of myself for all these things that I've been able to accomplish. So what does it mean to be fulfilled? It's pretty straightforward. It means that everything that I do, I use Gandhi's mantra, be the change you wish to see in this world. So it doesn't start with anybody but myself. And so if I'm not getting the results, or I want more freedom, I need to work on me, put the oxygen mask on, take it off everybody else, make myself a priority. And so living a fulfilled life in a day, I've spent a lot of time looking at it. And a lot of it has to do with how we make excuses. And we make a lot of excuses in our life due to the simple fact that Jim Rohn talks about it, difficulties mixed with opportunities. That's really all life is. For 6,000 years, it's been like that. It's going to be like that for the next 6,000 years. And so what are the excuses that I'm telling myself? What are the little belittled lies that keep coming out of my mouth that put me down and don't empower me? And for much of my 10 years prior, I lived in a disease mindset. And since the last 10 years, I've lived with an empowered mindset. So I found meaning and I found purpose. I wake up every single day making sure that I take care of myself. I get into the Word of God. I get into some meditation. I get into gratitude. I plan and schedule my day. I spend time being of service and giving and helping others. I make sure that I eat well, I exercise, I take time for me, which is something as an entrepreneur really, really hard because we're so busy trying to make it. And I'm like, there's nowhere to get. You're exactly where you said you wanted to be, doing exactly what you said you wanted to be doing until you decide that's not what you want anymore, and then you'll change. And I worked really, really hard to build something. Not only did I use it for the last 2+ years, beta tested it with hundreds, if not thousands of people to really give you a simple tool that you can kind of plan your morning, plan your day, and then reflect in the evening. Not of a scorecard, because I don't want you to score yourself. I just want you to kind of get an observation of how you're doing, right? And the more that I do this, the more I'm fulfilled in my life, because I realize at the evening I get to write more about gratitude. And it was great watching my son play lacrosse today. And, he was the player of the game. And I love seeing him jump for joy. I love seeing the tears from his face. And I loved him embracing his girlfriend. Like, where do we talk like that? Yeah. Where do we go around and really share how we're feeling? Christine, you could ask me how I'm doing. I'm like, I'm good. And you're like, that's great. And then like, go to the next question. So I call that just kind of like pleasantries. So what I recommend people do, and this has helped me to live a fulfilled day and a fulfilled life, is to go deeper. So you ask me, how am I? I'm like, I'm good. Your next question should be, can you define good? What is your definition of good? So that I can begin the response of, well, my definition right now of good is like, I don't have any problems. There's no fires to put out. Like I'm kind of existing a little bit. I'm kind of wondering when the next thing's going to drop. And you'd be like, oh, okay. By you doing that, you cause a disruption and a pattern in the conversation. You now make it, you're interested. And now we got to another level, because you're like, oh, have you had some things where you feel like when pressure's applied, things go wrong in your life? And now you're getting to know me at a different level. You're getting to know a deeper connection with a person. And the reason why I wanted to come on and be on your show is Heart Sells. It's everything I'm about. You got to lead with your heart. You got to get up in the morning and do it. And so when I take everything that I do, I live a fulfilled life. When I'm not living in a fulfilled mindset, what I'm really living in is my ego, and I'm edging good out or edging God out of my life. And I'm making it all about me. It has nothing to do with me. I'm here to serve. That's why I was put on this planet. It took me to coming to a really bad transition in my life to finally have an awakening to realize, look, the greatest gift I can give you is my time. And that's why I said yes to the podcast, why I said yes to a whole new world and a whole new network and a whole new audience. I have no clue where this podcast goes, but I do know if you lead with your heart, everything works. And so I just choose every day to live just a fulfilled life, and it's available to everybody. It's not special just for you or for me. Everybody has the ability, and the results that you're experiencing are not typical. But they are your results. And if you want to change, you have the opportunity to. I love the other quote from Jim Rohn is, you're not a tree. So you can get up and move. You can change. You can make anything happen. You just have to say, that's what I want. And so I wanted to live a fulfilled life. I wanted to do something for the world. And the journal was just a natural evolution of that.
Yeah, I just love that. When people love life, when they're in love with life, and when they take each day as a new opportunity. And I also do that with my clients, that we talk about wins, because I think it's so important to see the path you've gone, the ground you've taken, to understand what you have done, how you have served. And I love that, to reflect on that at the end of the day, or even sitting down and doing like a 90-day period and really thinking like, what has happened? Yeah. And it's so great to see, especially for people that might not see any wins. Once you start the exercise, things will come up. Really.
Oh yeah. And I was just on a call right before this podcast, and a buddy of mine was a little stuck. He was saying a little bit of a midlife crisis. And I'm like, can you do me a huge favor? He said, sure. I said, can you grab a piece of paper and can you write down 25 to 50 people's name on it that you're just grateful for? He's like, yeah, no problem. I said, cool. And the next column next to each one of those names, I want you to write 3 things you think of when you think of that person. So what I did is I got him out of his head and into somebody else's heart. And by doing that, causes a shift. Because a lot of times we can't think past where we're at. So a simple disruption changed the whole entire conversation. So he went from a poor me to, wow, like, oh my gosh, this is fun and exciting. And that's the kind of stuff that I love. Is it's available to all of us, and we just forget to ask for help. We live in a digital society today where a text message or a Facebook post is really what it is. Instead of really saying, hey, I'm struggling today, I'm not doing as well as I'd like. Do you have an ear that I could lend? This isn't like the boy who cried wolf. We live in an age right now where a lot of things can happen in a matter of just seconds. Just a couple of days ago in Colorado, there was a shooting at a school 3 minutes from my house. 1,850 students were locked down. People were displaced. Everything happened in such a quick manner, all because of something somebody was feeling and didn't get the response maybe they were looking for. So they changed tons of people's lives. And I don't bring it up as a negative. I bring it up as an observation that we need to ask better questions. We need to build a bigger and stronger community and network and be there for people instead of judging what's wrong with that person. Ask how I can help you, how I can be there for you. And that's just part of life. We live in a different age now, and things happen in a matter of seconds. The news spreads faster than a wildfire, and we have to do everything we possibly can to be of service. And I think if I can do it myself, and I don't necessarily want to say I'm a role model or an example, I just would rather have somebody say, wow, it's working for you. And so by the time I hung up the phone today with my friend, his response changed because he was heard. He had a voice and someone listened. And that's what I want us to do. That's how we get together. I mean, you were saying just a second ago, your business and everything that you do is how you lead with integrity in your heart and you coach people. Yeah, because you care. So let's go find more people who care in this world versus the discrimination and the disappointment and the poor me people, and love on them. I say love on people regardless of anything, because, man, people wanted to give up on me and my buddy didn't. He knocked on my door and he saved my life. So in the midst of our kind of craziness, we need to remind ourselves we need to push harder today towards those things. I think that being there for people is the most important thing that I want to leave anybody with in this interview today. Is if you actually care, it shows up in the body of your work. It shows up in your relationships with your clients. It shows up in how you carry yourself. And that's something that I don't see a lot of going on in our communities right now. I see a lot of people pointing fingers and making excuses and, oh, I would totally do it differently. I'm like, well, here's your chance. If you could do it differently, why don't you start right now? Oh, no. Yeah, I was just using it as an example. And I'm like, but you can make an example of somebody who shifts and makes a change and then leads a movement. Mother Teresa was amazing. Martin Luther King was amazing. Gandhi was amazing. They were people who just took a stand for something. And that's what we have every single day, is an opportunity to stand up for what we believe and to stop waiting for everybody else to do it and get into action.
Yeah, I so agree. There's a saying, hurt people. And I think I had that first time I noticed that was a course of Sonia Riccardi. And I added to it, and happy people make people happy. So if you're going out there, and especially when you might be stuck in sales or your business is not the way you want, right? Then, go out and make people happy. Go out and be of service and give and add value. And then the rest will more or less take care of itself.
It all falls into place. I love the title. I love what you're about. We talk about it every day at 9:00 in our huddle for our team. We have a sales meeting. We talk about, let's celebrate wins. And so we, print out yesterday's, if we got a review on Google or somebody shared a nice thing about how we took care of them, posted up on our bulletin board inside the office. There's 35 employees. So all the team, everybody gets to see it so we can start celebrating it. And then we constantly talk about how to increase the experience at our customer. We want to wow them in everything we do. Right. And I think you want to be wowed in everything that you experience. You don't want to go out and have a bad meal. You want to go out and have an amazing meal. You want to go out and have a great experience. The cashier, the server, the bus person, like no matter what, you want them to be a good interaction. And when you're around people and they're grouchy or something's wrong. One of my friends, Dan Kushel, his whole thing about sitting down at the table is always to ask the server a question, just to get the server, like we were talking about, just to disrupt their pattern for a moment, to just kind of learn a little bit about them. It makes the connection a little stronger. And I love that. I think there's something powerful about caring and then asking and then actually remembering at the end of the conversation and then share that back.
Yeah.
You just create connection.
Yeah. So your company, Ship Offers, is like super successful, and it's an 8-figure business, and it has been in the Inc. 5000 companies for the past 4 years. Is there something when you reflect back, when you look back, that made like a huge difference in your business? Maybe from a mindset perspective? Well,
I mean, the way I've kind of looked at like what was a big aha moment. We started this business out of my garage in 2001. It was my second supplement/fulfillment company. And I was busy just shipping orders and trying to figure out, how to make money online. It was the digital kind of, anything can be possible on the internet. I think what makes what we do a little bit different than what everybody else does is I'm not concerned about everybody else. I'm concerned about who I have right here, right now. Like if you were to invite me over and you invited 15 other people to come over and only 5 other people showed up. So there's 6 and you, so there's 7 of us, and there's 8 people that didn't show up. You either are going to be one of the people worried about the 8 that didn't show up or enjoy the 8 that are there, basically. Right. And you just have to make that decision in your mind saying, all right, what am I going to do? And so I just choose to look at what we can do today with what we have. And then how do we keep it? Because it's a lot easier to keep a new customer or a client you've had for a long time than it is to go and try to find another one. So connection is really the most important ingredient to success, is like caring. We've got a customer who's got just a massive order in our system, but we didn't place it in time. So instead of us taking, 8 weeks to manufacture it and make it, we're working with our labs to get it done in like 4 weeks, and we're trying to meet deadlines. Well, they've got hundreds, if not thousands of customers' orders on back order. So every day that I can work harder, every day we can help our team to jump on the phone and execute gaps and to fill them and then to take care of that customer creates more happy customers. So I think a lot of times we also live in a society where we feel like, I've done everything I can. I'm like, nah, you just scratched the surface. Flip the script. Imagine you were on the other end. You were really frustrated. How could you help this company or this customer to win? And I really think I've been our secret ingredient. Mindset is probably at the very, very top of flipping the script. Because I was at an event, Traffic and Conversions, run by digital marketer in San Francisco. William Shatner, the famous guy from Star Trek and TJ Hooker and a couple other TV shows, Priceline. I was on stage and he was talking at 81 years old about the Brown Bag Wine Club, something that he was just going to start, where you put a bottle of wine in a brown bag, share it with some friends. No one knew what kind of wine it was and just had a conversation. And at the end, they opened it up and they said, it was a 1980 blah, blah, blah. And everybody was like, oh, wow, I never would have thought that. It was just a conversation, piece. And I'm like, if this guy at 81 is talking about a business starting about that, and I'm sober now. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm listening. I'm not thirsty, but I'm thirsting for what he's saying. He said he found something that was fun and exciting, and he knew a way to connect with people. And I'm like, I came back, I walked out of TNC, walked with 3 or 4 buddies, and I said, wow, my business partner picked up the domain Ship Offers. What do you think about taking our name from I-5, because that's what our name was in California, and switching it to Ship Offers because it lets people know what we do? And they're like, I love it. And we came back, we switched it, and nothing changed, but everything changed. That's really the only thing that changed in our business was our name, but it changed everything about our culture and who we are as we bought in fully to what we were doing. And we were already at year like 11 or 12 in our business. So it's interesting when you look at what makes a successful company is when you take 100% ownership and I love the Ritz-Carlton. They have 100% success or it's not a success. It's 100%. It's a 5-star every time. If they don't have it, they figure out how to get one to a 5-star. And so we try every day to make everything we do to get to a 5-star, get to the best possible rating as possible. And we make mistakes. We're not perfect, but we work really, really hard to get better every day.
Awesome. Well, Tony, time with you just flies. So I'm so happy we have a second interview planned. Just to remind people, where can they go and find you?
Number one, shipoffers.com. That's been around now for some time. You can learn more about what we do, our services that we offer, and then my passion project, which is BeFulfilledJournal.com. Great place that you can learn. And we were talking a little bit in the beginning about a discount. And so save $10 if you use Heart Sells, you get a discount. And I'm on social media. So if you can remember this long German name, you can find me on social media. It's not many people with Tony Grebmeier. I respond back as soon as I can. And I love connecting and getting to know that what I say and do and how I impact the world matters. And if you get anything from today, get one thing. We're connected now. And now the chance is just to network and build a relationship.
Yeah, awesome. And obviously I will have all your connection points in the show notes. And thank you so much for sharing your time with us today.
Well, thank you so much. And you have an amazing show, and I love your spirit, and I love what you're doing in the world to make it a better place. So thanks.
Thank you so much, Tony. Bye for now. Well, gorgeous, what an episode. I mean, how often do you actually have the opportunity to tune into the wisdom of somebody who found a company that is now an 8-figure business from their garage? And I love the mindset that Tony has and the wisdom he shared was really focusing on what you have and how to grow from there. So I hope you can take that into your business and not worry about all the sales that maybe didn't happen or where the client said, no, not right now, right? That's the translation of it. But where you really focus on what you've got, where you give gratitude for the opportunities that are in front of you right now and right here. So I hope this was really inspirational for you. I can only say I loved the episode and I'm really looking forward to the next one. So make sure you are staying tuned. Best is to just subscribe to Heart Sells Podcast and to sign up for the empowerment notes, because then you will get all the information to your inbox once a week. Hop on over to ChristineSchlonski.com to sign up for the empowerment notes and also to get to the podcast page where you find the transcripts, the keynotes, the key points. Hop on over to ChristineSchlonski.com where you find the podcast page with the transcripts, the key points, the show notes, and all the amazing resources we are sharing, as well as a special link and offer to Tony's fulfillment journal that thousands of people are using to really tap into a better life, a better lifestyle for them to get to their next level. And Tony was so nice to give us a special promotion code. So hop on over, check it out over there and get your journal and get that ball rolling. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in this beautiful world. And I'm saying bye for now.